All right, y'all. Hey, what's up, good people? I'm QC. Welcome to a brand new Talking and Grubbing live stream. How's everybody doing on this Tuesday night? I hope all y'all doing good. I'm doing good. This is my first live stream since the Super Bowl. You know, y'all definitely seen the NBA All-Star content that I provided that was up here in Cleveland last month. I had a great time being down there, just being in that atmosphere, covering it. And, you know, there's been a lot of things I've been wanting to talk about, but since I haven't had time to do videos, I decided to put it all right here in this free for all. So definitely appreciate all you tuning in, whether you tuning in through YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or Twitch. Greatly appreciate you. If you're watching on YouTube and Facebook, hit that like button. If you're watching on Twitter or Twitch, hit that heart icon. So yeah, since I figured since didn't have time to do some videos, I decided to do them all right here. So definitely gonna be talking about a bunch of stuff here tonight in this free for all. I've missed being on live with all of you. Glad I'm back live with all y'all again. And I'm definitely gonna be doing some NBA live soon, but of course, right now can't do that for another few weeks because March Madness is going on right now. Definitely tell your friends and family that I'm live right now by sharing this with them on social media. As I'm doing, sharing with everybody on my social media pages. Yeah, definitely a lot of things I'm going to get into in this free for all. Going to talk about the new hit HBO Max series, Winning Time, which is about the 1980 Showtime Lakers. Gonna do recaps on the first two episodes. Matter of fact, while the series is airing, starting next Monday, I'm gonna do a live recap every Monday. So definitely be on the lookout for that. It's gonna be 10 episodes, so they post the episodes every Sunday at 9 o'clock on HBO Max. Every Monday, I'm gonna do a live recap of each episode because the first two episodes of this series, they've been pretty good. Ooh, excuse me. Had a little cough fit. All right. Still sharing the live on social media, letting people know that I'm live right now. Yep. So everybody come on in the chat. Definitely want to know how's everything going on with you. All right. Give me a few more minutes here and we'll get right into it. All right. All right. So let me get started on the first topic. Let me share my screen here. Oh, well, before I get started, if you would like to donate to this channel, you can donate via Cash App or PayPal. There's the Cash App cash tag, $ talking and grubbing. Also, here's the PayPal email address, talkingandgrubbing@gmail.com. Any donations you want to give to this platform, I greatly appreciate it. Definitely got to give a shout out to my big homie Kenny of OBF the Family, who just donated to me a little while ago. Shout out to you, Kenny. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe to OBF the Family. Now, he had opinion but facts, but unfortunately, due to YouTube politics, he lost his channel. So definitely subscribe to his channel and support him. Right now, it's OBF the Family. So, Kenny, thank you again. I greatly appreciate you. All right, so let me get on with the first topic. Sure, I got the right image. There we go. And I wanted to do a recap of the first 2 episodes for Winning Time. Now, if you don't know what this show's about, it's on HBO Max. It's about, excuse me, it's a series about the 1980 Showtime Lakers based on the book Showtime by Jeff Pearlman. You have John C. Reilly, who y'all may know from movies like Step Brothers, Walk Hard, Boogie Nights. You know, very great, a great character actor. He plays Dr. Jerry Buss. Now, in the first episode, it starts in around 1979. You know, Dr. Buss is talking about basketball with a Playboy bunny he just smashed, but she's definitely not interested because she wants her beauty sleep because she has a big test in the morning. So he lets us, the audience, know that he's about to buy the LA Lakers from Jack Cope. But here's the catch 22. He ups his offer to 67.5 million, but majority of it is in properties. He already pays Cope the down payment of 18 million. And also The other half is in other assets. So he only has to give Coke only $15 million in cash for the sale. But the only problem is all his money is tied up in assets and other investments that he only has $130,000 left in the bank. So he has to figure out a way to come up with the 8 to 15 million to pay Coca. Otherwise, the deal is off. So you have Bus here at the beginning robbing Peter to pay Paul. Now his business partner in real estate feels like he shouldn't do it, is a bad investment because, you know, the NBA has definitely had its image problems in the 70s so bad that a lot of people thought the NBA was just going to go out of business because, let's keep it real, a lot of it was, excuse me, at that time, it was basically racial. A lot of white fans felt alienated by these black players, you know, doing stuff on the court that had never been seen before. They felt basketball should be more, quote unquote, traditional. And a lot of these players came from the inner city, brought a playground element to it that you know, was trying to bring more showmanship and entertainment to the game, but while white fans didn't buy it, wasn't buying it. They thought they were too flashy. They didn't know how to play basketball. But Jerry Buss didn't care about that. All he wanted was the best players available. So the Lakers end up in a coin toss battle with the Chicago Bulls, and whoever wins the coin toss gets the number 1 pick. And of course, that prize is Magic Johnson. Now, the crazy part is when they do the coin toss between the Lakers and the Bulls, they could not find a coin, not a quarter, a coin. They were digging in between couches, chairs, vending machines. Like, come on. All of y'all in the NBA offices don't have a coin. You can even go to your go to your assistants or even the doggone custodian to get a coin for a coin toss. Come on now. That's just pretty absurd to me. That you couldn't find a coin for a coin toss. But that's just me. Now, Magic Johnson, who just played Larry Bird in the national championship. Of course, Bird got drafted early by going to the Celtics. Still, while he was in college, you could do that back in those days. You can't do that now. But that was the number 1 prize. You know, Magic Johnson played here by Quincy Isaiah. He definitely wants to go to LA, while a couple of family members want him to be closer to home by getting drafted for the Bulls. Excuse me. But the Lakers end up winning the coin toss, so 9 times. So we all know that means Lakers are getting Magic. Everybody in the Lakers front office are definitely excited about Magic coming, except for one person, Jerry West, who's the coach of the LA Lakers. He definitely doesn't want Magic because he feels like he's too tall to play point guard. He feels like he's going to definitely turn the ball over too many times, and he feels like he's more suited to play forward. But deep down, Jerry West is miserable over the fact that he definitely didn't win enough when he was a player with the Lakers. We all know his story. He got to the finals, 9 times and lost majority of them except for one time, which was in 1972, and he mostly lost to the Boston Celtics. And we all know West ended up getting the finals MVP despite the fact he was on the losing team and, definitely wasn't happy about that. But man, here they just made Jerry West a damn old curmudgeon in this show. Like this dude ain't happy about anything. Like he's not happy about, you know, getting the finals MVP on a losing team. He's not happy about being the logo. He's not happy about the Lakers drafting Magic. It's like, what is this dude ever happy about? Also, you know, Kareem, they show Kareem's off shooting air, you know, the movie Airplane. And the kid that was in the movie with him, you know, once you know the director yells cut and he's done shooting his scene, kid asks him for his autograph, saying that he was his favorite player. Kareem tells the kid to F off. I'm like, come on, Kareem, not the kids, Kareem. That's cold. You know, but Solomon Hughes, he plays Kareem. He definitely does a good job. Because he definitely, I don't know what he definitely has the tone of Kareem down. As well as the look. Now, on the flip side, Norm Nixon, who's played by Norm Nixon's real life son, Devon Nixon, he definitely doesn't like the fact that Magic's being drafted because, excuse me, he's been the starting point guard for the last few years, and in a way, he feels threatened that Magic's taking his spot. He tries to tell Kareem about it, but Kareem tells him to go F off. But also back at home, Magic, you know, loses the love of his life in Cookie. You know, she definitely does not want to follow Magic out to LA. She wants to stay with her simple life in Lansing. And Magic definitely tells her he's definitely not going to be alone. I was getting a text. Sorry about that. Now, also, Dr. Buss's daughter, Jeannie, she wants to, well, also let me give you the actress is playing Jeannie Buss. Okay, Hadley Robinson, who plays Jeannie Buss in the show, she wants to work for her father, while despite the fact she's still in college. But at first, her father is kind of apprehensive about her working because he doesn't want to hear her mom's mouth. So then he decides, okay, let me give her do a little interview, and he asks her, you know, who do you draft? She said Magic Johnson, no question, because Bird already went to the Celtics, and Buss tells her, hey, I'm glad they took him. Excuse me. But he also noticed the racial undertones, how they set up the matchup between Magic and Bird in that 1979 NCAA championship. You know, they were using words for Bird like hardworking, while they were calling Magic, you know, showboating. Basically, you know, using those code words, basically saying, you know, trying to hide basically he's white, Magic's black. And also Buss says, you know, they took Bird because they were blinded by the white, and basically said, hey, I don't care what color you are, if you can play, you got heart, that's all right with me. Now Buss is still trying to still robbing Peter to pay Paul, to get the cash for Cook. Now, Cook, he's in the middle of a nasty divorce settlement with his wife. So at first, Cook Jerry's closer to the goal line with the money that he has to give Cook for the remainder of the deal. But Cook tries to flip the script on Dr. Bus by saying he wants all the $67.5 million in cash. So, Bus definitely knows, hey, this is a shakedown. He's trying to muscle him. And he also knows that his ex-wife just put something scathing out about him in the media. So Bus forces his hand, and they stick to their regular deal. Bus ends up getting the remaining $2 million from his ex-wife as a loan. And lo and behold, Bus buys the Lakers. Now, Magic, once he gets out to LA at a party, he runs into Norm Nixon, and Norm Nixon challenges Magic to a game of one-on-one, and Nixon schools Magic's ass. Talking trash, calling him country, telling him maybe he needs to go back to school, and Magic definitely has some doubt in his mind, about coming out of college early and coming into the NBA because he's afraid that he might fail and become a bust. So then he goes to Dr. Bus and tells him that he's probably going to, play his senior year instead of just going for the NBA draft. But then once Magic gets into that form and starts imagining the crowd cheering for him and, running up and down that floor, excuse me, he changes his mind. And Dr. Bus drafts, Magic in spite of Jerry West's excuse me, disagreement. And Magic definitely, puts his arm around West, despite the fact West doesn't fit, is not too keen on, Magic being drafted with the first pick. But, it's definitely a great first episode. Definitely getting into the backstory of how Bus ended up acquiring the Lakers from Cook. And how how West wasn't enthralled with Magic being drafted to number one. Also, how Bus just hustled all that money to buy the Lakers from Cook. All right, good people. I'm gonna step away for a moment. I'll be right back with the second episode recap. All right, I'm back, good people. Sorry about that. What's up, News Cycle? How you doing? Shout out to one of my members. Hope you doing good. Okay, got myself a couple of hot dogs here. Now I'm about to grub on. All right. All right, now on to episode 2 of Winning Time. This kind of focuses on Jerry West a little more in his background. It begins back in the early 50s of him being a little boy, growing up in an abusive home where his father is very abusive to his mother. And basically, basketball was his only escape. Then it flashes to 1972, where he finally ends up on the top of the mountain and wins his only championship of his career. Then later on, he's basically at a funeral for somebody he didn't even know, but meets a woman there. They go back to his place and get it in. but then later on, Jerry Buss, goes to the owners' meeting since he's a new owner himself, meets with the owners. Especially a lot of them that didn't approve of him for the ownership of the Lakers. And first person he definitely wants to meet is Red Auerbach, because he definitely wants advice and wants to know what's his secret to having all that success with the Celtics back in the 60s and 70s. And Red Auerbach is played by Michael Chiklis, who y'all may know from The Shield or as the theme from the Fantastic Four movies. And he definitely does his thing here playing Red Auerbach because he's from Boston. He's a Celtics fan. So, hey, that's like peanut butter and jelly. So Red agrees to have dinner with Dr. Buss. And man, Red just starts talking all kinds of shit to Buss about, rubbing it in, how many times he's beaten the Lakers in the finals, and how he thinks Buss is not a real owner, that he's going to get tired of the Lakers after a while. And he's just going to be happy with winning 50 games and making the playoffs. And he tells them that championships aren't won, they're taken. And basically said that the Lakers will never win anything. And even tells, Jerry Buss to unload a couple of guys to the Celtics. So that definitely has Jerry Buss feeling some type of way, because He's trying to be cool, reaching out to Red for advice, and Red's just straight up dissing him. Now, Magic, he's definitely about to he's ready to set off to LA, but still wrapping a few things up in Lansing. Like he buys his mom a new tub, a tub that she always wanted, but his mom is definitely not happy about that because she's not happy about the fact that he decided to forego his senior year for the NBA draft. You know, she felt like he was trying to buy her affection, which it didn't work. Also, his girl Cookie has started seeing this new dude named Brian that worked at her store. That's the manager of the store that she works at. And also, he starts having a friend with benefits named Cindy. You know, where they smash in the back of his car. But Magic's definitely jealous. He's not admitting it, but he's very jealous that Cookie's got a new dude and that she's not thinking about him anymore. So one day at the playground on the court, he sees Cookie's new man there. So he decides to play a little friendly pickup game of basketball where he's guarding Brian, and he's talking all kinds of trash to Brian to get him off of his game, talking about how you ain't seen or smelled the hair on the pussy. That's his words, not mine. Also, he's talking all kinds of trash to him, saying, say if y'all get married, you're not gonna think she's still gonna think about what life would have been like if she would have married me. Like what? Like you don't think she's gonna think about that when you can't pay a bill or buy that Christmas gift she wants? And while he's talking trash to this dude, he is just embarrassing him. Dunking on him, just getting physical with him. Like at the end of the game, he has the dude's head so messed up that dude just walks away. He don't want no parts of Cookie whatsoever. None at all. But then back in LA, Wes's right-hand man, the GM Bill, comes over his house, and he sees Jerry West just lying there looking just very depressed. And Bill basically tells him, you're basically afraid that if you get the team that you want, you're not going to have an excuse. So he basically tells West he needs to just get off his behind and not be afraid to fail or succeed. Now, Jeannie starts working under her father, and she accidentally has the books misplaced, and the secretary, make sure I have the name right, Claire just goes on a tirade, just straight cuss Jeannie out for having the books misplaced, because that's how she sets up the budget and the cap space for the team. Make sure that Jerry's covered. Make sure Jerry's good. And, Jeannie tries to smooth things over with it, but it's no use. She just slams the door in her face. Excuse me. But then later on, her and Claire Jeannie patch things up and everything is cool. Also, Jerry Buss meets with Red once again in the forum, and Red constantly, brags about the Game 7 in 1969 against the Celtics. And we, for those of you who may or may not know, this is a true story, that Cook had all these balloons hanging in the rafters, had the banner saying World Champion Lakers before Game 7 started. And, Bill Russell told Jerry West, those effing balloons are staying up there. And, of course, the Celtics went on to win Game 7 and claim another championship over the Lakers. And Red's just throwing that up in Jerry's face, gloating, puffing on the cigar. So this is really filming Jerry, ticking him off. And he just tells Red that I'm going to make sure that we become a dynasty and they're going to forget about Boston or the Celtics. And Red, man, just in a gangster mood, just throws that cigar right on the Forum logo. I'm like, boy, talk about disrespect. So, Jerry Buss rallies the troops to have a little impromptu meeting that he's definitely going to make sure that this team wins a championship. Said, leave all the financial stuff up to me, but everybody else do their job. So Jerry West comes to him, said, basically tells Dr. Buss that he's resigning as head coach. He feels like he's not the right man to coach the team. So he pulls himself out of the running. Pulls himself from the head coaching job, and that was it. So far, this show has definitely been good, and I like the way they're shooting the series. They're using that 16 millimeter. It's like they're shooting a home movie. Well, not just a home movie. It's like they're shooting a documentary how you would have shot it at that time. Definitely like that. And also, the performances in this show are pretty good. John C. Reilly does his thing as Dr. Buss. Quincy Isaiah does a good job as Magic. And I also got to give Michael Chiklis his props for playing Red Auerbach. He definitely did a good job playing him. He definitely had his mannerisms down to a T. It's just natural because, he watched them all his life growing up in Boston. But this is a pretty good show. If you haven't watched it yet, definitely need to watch it. It's on HBO Max. So you definitely got to get the stream. So definitely get the stream to watch this show. You'll enjoy it, especially if you're a basketball fan and a Lakers fan of that era. You'll enjoy winning time. All right. Now, switch to some NFL news right quick. And I know all of y'all have heard about this by now. All right, so Tom Brady decides to unretire and come back to the NFL. So he is returning for his 23rd year with the Tampa Bay Bucks. Tom Brady posted on Twitter that he realized he belongs on the field and not in the stands. So he decided to come back to the Bucs and try to win another Super Bowl. Now, I don't know what. Now, look, Tom Brady should just give it up. Like, come on, man. You have just about every stat ever in the history books, okay? You got 7 Super Bowls, 5 Super Bowl MVPs. Like I said, you set all kinds of records. To me, Tom Brady wants to be the first quarterback to throw for 100,000 yards. To me, that's all it is to me now. It's like stat padding. It's like you have nothing else to prove, dude. You know, you won 7 Super Bowls with 2 different teams in both conferences. You definitely an all-time touchdown leader. Like, what else is there to prove? You know, and it's not me dogging Brady and taking away from him. Of course, he's one of the greatest quarterbacks, if not the greatest quarterback of all time. But now it's time to let these young QBs shine. It's time for Pat Mahomes to shine, or Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson. Excuse me. I mean, Tom Brady has had the reins for over 20 years. Like, come on, dude. It's time to give up. Let these young guys shine. It's their turn now. You know, a true champion, of course, a true champion knows how to win, but also a true champion knows when it's time for them to walk away. And I definitely think it's time for Tom Brady to walk away. Like, you done enough, man. Let these young guys have it. You know, let Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, Lamar, let these guys run the league. It's gonna be in good hands. Because when you're doing that, you're taking their shine away. You are definitely taking shine from these young QBs. So yeah, Tom Brady, to me, in my opinion, it's a selfish move. Because, you know, the last few years, Phillip Rivers has retired, Drew Brees retired, Big Ben just retired, and you just didn't want to be in that class of those guys that retired, that was playing in the 2000s and the 2010s. You wanted to be just about you when you retired. But it's not all about you. Like, man, you're going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, unanimous at that. You definitely gonna be at least top 10 in every statistical category, if not the leader. It's like you just doing this because you don't want anybody else to shine. In my opinion, even Jordan knew when it was time to walk away. But yeah, like, come on, man. Come on, Brady. It's definitely time just to move on. Let these young guys have it. This is their league. You know, it's definitely been their league the last few years, even though you've been playing. But yeah, this is their time to shine. So let them have their moment, just like the guys came before you. Let you have your moment. All right, I'm going to take another quick time out. I'll be right back, so don't go away. All right, I'm back, good people. So now let me get to the next story. And that's involving Deshaun Watson. Now, last week, a Texas court decided not to indict him on the 22 counts of sexual assault charges that he's been accused of over the past year. But he still has the civil process to go through where all 22 women that accused him are suing. But ever since he wasn't indicted, his trade interest has gone up. Now, we all know that Watson has been wanting to get out of Houston ever since about 2020 or 2020. Make sure I'm correct. And a lot of teams and a few teams have met with him over the past couple of days. The Saints and the Panthers met with him yesterday, and today the Cleveland Browns flew out to Houston to meet with Watson as well. Now tomorrow, I'm hearing, according to multiple reports, that he's going to meet with the Atlanta Falcons. Now Watson, he has a no trade clause, so he will have to waive it for whatever team he chooses to be traded to. And also the Texans set it up to where only teams who made trade proposals could only meet with Watson. Any other team that's inquiring about Watson and they didn't make a trade proposal, those teams did not get a meeting. So we're going to definitely find out within the next couple of days where Watson's headed. Now, there have been, some people say, well, he might just want to stay in the state, might want to go to the Panthers or the Saints because, well, he's from the South, it's warm. I get all that. Because one Houston reporter, his name's John McClain, he was on the local sports radio station here. Well, one of the local sports radio stations here in Cleveland today on 92.3 The Fan, saying that, Watson would never waive his no trade clause to Cleveland because he wouldn't want to play in cold weather because a couple of years ago, because he recalled a game that the Texans and Browns played a couple of seasons ago where it was raining and it was lightning. And he said, well, he's a Southern boy. Southern guy. He didn't say a Southern boy. Excuse me. Says he's a Southern guy. He wouldn't want to play in that type of weather. But I've noticed something. Cleveland was the only cold weather team he met with. And and rumor has it that the Seahawks wanted to meet with him, but he kind of nixed that meeting. So if he's so averse, if he's so apprehensive, against playing in a cold weather city, why would he take a meeting with the Browns? Because he definitely could have nixed that. He could have nipped that in the bud right then and there. So I don't think he may be, apprehensive of playing in the cold like maybe McClain is saying. Because he met with the Browns, so he's definitely giving the Browns some consideration. And I'm not going to sit up and say which team I think Watson's going to be traded to, because you just never know. You just never know. I know people are saying, well, Carolina and New Orleans, they look, they look like the front runners because, well, oh, excuse me. Shoot, what's up with this coughing fit? Because it's in the South. But also, well, especially the Panthers. Panthers have a solid roster, but it's not like it's a roster that's just ready to contend just yet. The Saints, Yeah, they definitely got Kamara and Michael Thomas, but will Watson want to play for a rookie head coach? Just saying. But also, a lot of Browns fans are divided on this whole Watson situation. I'm just talking from my perspective because I'm here in Cleveland. There's a certain segment of fans that want to bring him here, but there's another segment that doesn't want to bring him here because of the allegations. But I mean, look, the man, went to court. The grand jury decided not to indict him. Also, there's a lot of NFL players that are in Canton right now that had a lot of issues when they were playing. Of course, we all know Ray Lewis, Lawrence Taylor, Michael Irvin. Excuse me. We all know Ben Roethlisberger was also accused of sexual assault on a few women back in the day. But nobody really kept the same energy for that, didn't apply that type of energy like they're doing here with Deshaun. And a lot of Browns fans is getting outraged talking about, getting outraged. I mean, come on. Some of y'all voted for voted for Trump, and he said he grabbed women by the nine. And he was boys with Jeffrey Epstein. Now, look, I'm not dismissing sexual assault, none of that at all, because that's a horrible thing for anyone to go through. Excuse me. And to all the true victims of that, I'm very, very sorry that happened to you. You didn't deserve it. Nobody should ever have to go through that pain and trauma. And also, I hope you're definitely getting the help that you need in order to in order to keep moving forward with your life. But if it's been proven in a court of law that someone didn't do something, it's just let it go. I mean, if y'all telling us to accept the Kyle Rittenhouse verdict, accept the outcome with this. That's all I'm saying. Keep the same energy across the board. Definitely keep the same energy across the board. All right, there we go. Got about a couple more stories I want to talk about before I get out of here. But it's definitely a lot of people divided on this whole Deshaun Watson issue. And look, I don't know if he did or didn't do it. All I'm saying is that, hey, it went through the legal process. Grand jury didn't see enough to indict. Now, if there was new evidence that came out that had him dead to rights, then that's a whole nother different story. But there wasn't enough evidence so we can't sit up and say, well, let the legal process play out in certain cases, but then in others, when we don't like the results, we get upset. But like I said, once again, I'm not dismissing sexual assault, and I'm definitely not dismissing the real people that went through that. Because I know a few women that went through sexual assault. excuse me. And that's definitely, and that's definitely a lot of pain, suffering, and trauma to go through. And it definitely takes a long time for a lot of sexual assault victims to just, to at least heal enough to just move on with life. Because I definitely know they'll never fully heal from that. That's always going to stay with them. But if it's not proven that that person has done it, there's nothing you can do. He went to a court of law. He went through the legal process. The legal process, the criminal process anyway. The grand jury didn't indict him, so let's move. So we gotta accept that and definitely accept that and move on. Definitely gotta accept that and move on. Yep, just like this the same. I mean, hey, the same legal system that didn't indict Deshaun Watson is the same legal system that found people like Kyle Rittenhouse not guilty. Same with OJ. But anyway, now for my next take, for my next story, I gotta talk about the embarrassment that is the LA Lakers. Last night, Toronto Raptors went to LA and just, from the beginning, beat the brakes off the Lakers, embarrassing them in their home arena. Man, there's going to be a lot of changes coming this offseason with the Lakers. Frank Vogel, he's going to be out of a job. Westbrook, he's definitely out of LA. Definitely think Melo's out of LA too. Hey, AD, he shouldn't have no right to ask for no trade out of LA because he's been hurt most of his tenure during his time in LA. But man, this team's just been a mess. Definitely has been a mess. From the front office all the way down to, the whole coaching staff. Definitely has been a mess. And also a lot of infighting between, of course, LeBron, Rob Pelinka, and GD Buss. Who knows? Well, I don't think LeBron's going to ask for a trade this offseason because next season he's going to be in the final year of his contract. But I definitely can see LeBron leaving LA. Definitely can see LeBron leaving LA. I've gotten into it with a lot of Laker fans on social media when I've said that. And a lot of them got PO'd at me. I told them LeBron is a possibility LeBron can leave LA. If he does, do not be shocked. But they kept on coming with me all kinds of stuff. Well, his kids out here, his wife like it out here. His son going to one of the best prep schools in the country. They're around other celebrity kids. Let me tell you something. The only kid LeBron, his wife, have to worry about now is their daughter. His sons are nearly grown. By next year, when LeBron enters his 21st season, Bronny will be in college. And his other son, Bryce, will be what? A junior? Or no, finishing up his sophomore year. So he doesn't have to worry about his sons because they're practically grown. They're almost grown. It's not like these are still little, like little babies. Like they're still like 8 years old or something. They're almost grown. And also, well, he ain't gonna want to leave because of the business side. I'm like, come on. This is somebody who's in Cleveland. We all know LeBron, okay? We know this dude. Okay. With LeBron, if you don't have a chance, offer him a chance to win, he's gonna leave. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong either. I'm just telling you how it is because we know. Y'all should have been talking to us, Cleveland folks. We're speaking from experience. Shoot. We are speaking from experience. We're the best fan friends you could have. But yeah, I definitely think LeBron's gonna find his way out of LA, in my opinion, after next season. Definitely. And I know diehard Laker fans don't want to hear it, but it's the truth. Y'all ain't really used to nobody leaving y'all, okay? Y'all used to just about everybody staying for their both, at least majority of their career, if not their whole career. But y'all forget LeBron don't really have no ties to LA like that because he's not from Southern California. It's not like he was drafted by the Lakers or he spent a majority of his career in LA. So I think LeBron likes LA, but he may not like, the Lakers setup. I think he's only living out there for the business reasons, not because of the love of the Lakers. And I mean, look, I know Laker fans, are very emotionally attached. Well, mostly attached because because y'all loved Kobe, y'all love Shaq. For the old school fans, Magic, Kareem, but LeBron ain't like that. LeBron don't have that kind of emotional attachment to a franchise like your Kobe's, your Magic, your Shaq. Or flip it with another franchise like the Celtics, like Bird, McHale, Paul Pierce, KG. They have that type of emotional attachment. LeBron doesn't. I mean, hell, look at the current Bulls team. I don't think DeMar DeRozan or Lonzo Ball have that attachment like Michael Jordan, like Jordan did. This is just my opinion. But yeah, I definitely see LeBron not finishing his career in LA like he said he would. And y'all correct, and y'all are naive for even taking that seriously. Because people say a lot of things they don't mean. All right, all right. So gonna take another quick time out. I'll be back with my final subject. So don't go away. All right, I'm back, good people. About to wrap this up. Okay. Now. All right, I'm back, good people. Sorry about that. My apologies. But about to wrap this up and got some big news. I'm in the process of developing another channel. And yes, it's going to involve food this time. I'm not going to tell you I'm not going to give you the full concept yet because I'm still in the process of developing, but I'm going to start shooting content for that channel soon. And once everything's together, I'll definitely post it all over my social media platforms. So yes, you're going to see a different side of me, QC. You know, this is kind of like my spin-off of Talking and Grubbing. Definitely can't wait to start shooting all that content and posting it on that channel. But it's definitely going to be about food. It's going to be some recipes that I've created. Also recipes from other spots that you don't hear about. So gonna be shooting that pretty soon. But anyways, y'all, I got to get out of here, man. Thank y'all for joining me. I've missed being live with y'all. And I'm glad all of you came to see me here tonight. Greatly appreciated. Whether you tuned in on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or Twitch, I greatly thank you. If you want to donate to the channel, you can donate via Cash App or PayPal. Once again, here's the Cash App cash tag. That's $ Talking and Grubbing. Also, here's the PayPal email address, talkingandgrubbing@gmail.com. Any donations you give to this platform, I greatly appreciate it. And I'm definitely grateful to everyone's support, past and present. I thank all of y'all from the bottom of my heart. I greatly appreciate it. Y'all definitely have helped me keep this platform going. And I'm definitely going to be back with some NBA live streams soon, especially after March Madness is over. Can't wait to do those again. Got the playoffs right around the corner, just about a little over a month away. Can't wait to get that going. Excuse me, to see all the matchups, especially in the East. That's going to be a great first round in the East. Definitely can't wait to bring all those live streams. But 9 times out of 10, I'll be back later this week with an NBA live stream. I definitely keep y'all posted. Definitely appreciate all y'all support. From the bottom of my heart, I just thank you. Without y'all, I would not be doing this right now. Also, spread the word to your family and friends about this platform. If they want something different in sports news, tell them to come right here to Talking and Grubbing Media. All right, until then, y'all have a good one. Love y'all to life. Salute. Y'all be safe. Enjoy the rest of your night. Y'all have a good day. I'm out.